Askreddit thread. What is something you thought was awesome as a teenager, but now as an adult think is totally ridiculous? Having $100 would make me not worry about money for a while. Oh, I miss those days, getting 500 to 600 check and thinking of all the things I could do with that. Now that's not even one of my car payments. Now an extra $1,000 doesn't even seem like a lot of money when you have car payments, insurance, etc. Completely agree. If I received an extra $1,000 right now, I would instantly be gone in bills. If I got it when I was a kid, I'd make other kids tie my shoes. Yeah, that is a lot of money for a teenager or a kid. I totally forgot $100 used to be like a crap ton. Oh, the good old days. Back when I was super poor and I thought $5 was a crap ton too. I mean, with $5, you could eat food for like a week. Jumping the fence at a local hotel and skinny dipping in the pool and hot tub. Now I work at said hotel and have to kick drunk people out all the time. Karma's a bitch. An AOL nickname of Gangar Greens 420. I loved it when 18-year-olds used emails like that to apply for a job. My friend is 38 and still uses the addressed fatline69. As soon as I turned 16, I made myself a new email, going from some character in a video game to just my first and last name at Gmail. Congrats on doing so at 16. Took me until I got married when I was 20 to realize that Night Dolphins from when I was 9 wasn't going to cut it anymore. I was a teen in the 80s and dressed like a surf bum. I lived in Iowa. Iowa is a landlocked state, I think. Yep. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other states surrounding it, 2 of which are near lakes. Teen in the 90s here, Iowa as well. Thought jean shorts in the winter made me look badass. I wear shorts in the winter, but only because it's really hot here, all year round. Haha, read that as Smurf and pictured you painting yourself blue every morning. Way better mental picture. Driving dangerously. I remember passing a semi with another one barreling down on me, and I slid in with a few feet to spare. I had like 5 other kids in the car. At the time, I thought I was a badass. In retrospect, I could have caused 6 families lifelong anguish for no reason at all. What? Driving danger. I remember passing a semi with another one barreling down on me, and I slid in the few feet to spare. Huh. I didn't think teenagers really were that stupid. I mean, I knew they were. I was aware of it when I was a teenager. It's like some of you people are just dumb as shit. Never underestimate how stupid people can be. Learning this lesson now. I'm 17. When I got my license, I thought it was badass to go 75 on surface streets with no one around. Then I almost got into an accident and my entire perspective changed. It's not badass, it's fucking stupid and useless. Yes. No shit. How's that not common sense? I barreled rolled a Pathfinder with my best friend and a schoolmate inside at 17. We were signed, save for my friend's hand. He evidently used centripetal force as a window slapping aid. And my dad met us and took us the rest of the way to school. My dad, ladies and gents, where I went to computer class and looked up the year of the Pathfinder in question to find it ranked number 1 in roll casualties. Since I know I spent all my lottery luck that day, I have driven like a grandma ever since. Hanging out at the mall. Robin Sparkles, I totally agree with this. I dread going to the mall now because I had begged to go 15 years ago. It's like pulling teeth to get me there now. I never understood that either. I mean, they have movie theaters in the mall, so that's fun to go to. But just hanging out at the mall, maybe because I was always poor. Maybe that's something you do if you have money. Dating a college student while you're in high school, unless you were going out already when one of you graduated. People who did that in my high school considered like uber attractive. They could meet and land a college student. In retrospect, what kind of person in college picks up high schoolers? Definitely awkward moment in my early 20s when I wondered what the hell were the 20-year-old dudes hanging out with my 16-year-old self doing. Trying to bang you, that's what. That's what I love about all these high school girls, man. I get older and they stay the same age. Being too cool for things. I get a load off the guy who's too cool for being too cool for things. If you're really cool, you don't care what other pink that you're... Did I say pink? If you're really cool, you don't care if other people think you're cool. Are your Astrophes okay? Marge. Am I cool, kids? Bart and Lisa. No. Marge. Good. I'm glad. And that's what makes me cool. Not caring, right? No. Well, how the hell do you be cool? I feel like we've tried everything here. Wait, Marge. Maybe if you're truly cool, you don't need to be told you're cool. Well, sure you do. How else would you know? Blue eyeshadow, thick, goopy, all over glitter, body glitter. Those little black plastic chokers. Jeans with really big holes in them. Skirts over jeans. I don't know, man. Denim mini skirts. 8th and 9th grade were rough. Making an about me on social media websites or any customization of a profile. I used to spend hours changing my profile. Literally thought I was some experienced computer HTMLer, adding font styles and bold italics. And choosing a profile song, I nearly died and went to heaven when you could have more than one song on MySpace. Although it's ridiculous now, I do miss it at times. Then again, I'm doing adult life and I ain't got no time for that nowadays. So much time wasted on sub-profiles for AIM. MySpace was my intro to HTML/CSS. And while I already had a knowledge of simple programming at the time, I really think being able to do that led into some of the other skills that got me my first web dev jobs. Oh, that's right, you had to like copy and paste HTML stuff. Not HTML, you had to copy and paste some programs into your MySpace profile. I remember doing that too, to change my profile around. Oh, fun times, MySpace. Some of you kids probably never even used it. Parachute pants and skinny ties with piano keys printed on them. I am old. Letting the world know what underwear I'm rocking on this fine day. To be fair, band on boxers does naturally rise up above the top of your trousers unless you wear your trousers up high. That said, I never understood back sagging thing. Must be intentional. 2 words, wallet chain. Oh man, I had one of those. I thought they were awesome 10 years ago. I was a teenager in the 90s, so shorts with combat boots. I still support that wearing combat boots with all clothes. Jeans, yep. Slacks, yep. Shorts, yep. Short skirt, long skirt, flowing summer dress, yep. Why does the idea of a girl in a short skirt and combat boots sound so hot to me? Because it's one step away from being a short skirt with a long jacket. I don't get it. I don't know who that is. Because summer glah exists and we know it looks hot. The pitter-patter of tiny feet in huge combat boots. The music I listen to being the focal point of my identity. It used to influence just about every aspect of my life. How I dressed, who my friends were, where I went, to a certain extent how I acted. Now I couldn't give less of a shit to sell out. The music I listen to being a focal point of my identity. Oh my god. It makes me facepalm so hard because it reminds me of a friend of mine. Where she's like, we're about the same age. But she still says stuff like that sometimes. Back in time when you had so little control over things, music was one of the few ways you could express yourself and who you were. I was one of those music is my life people. Couldn't associate with people who weren't enjoying the same stuff as me. Seems so stupid now. It'd be like someone not liking me because I don't like onions. How are you going to arbitrarily deny a friendship because of something subjective? Ooh, I actually used to be like this, not with music though. For like half a year in 7th grade, I didn't want to associate with anyone who didn't like Dragon Ball Z. And then I got over myself and made friends. Luckily, it was a very short period. Having branded clothes with big logos. The hats with stickers on them still make me laugh. Like shit, can you imagine people doing that with pants? 32, yo, check my skinny dip. Let's see. I was reading my book next to a gate that says, please do not lean. And some kid walks over with his girl and says, I don't follow the rules, and then lightly leans on it and walks away. I think she was really impressed by it as well. The kid died, drowned in pussy. Probably a joke. I do stuff like this. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I used to love wearing No Fear t-shirts and Doc Martens. Now I look back and shake my head. Friends and I used to walk the railroad bridge across the river and hope that a train didn't come, because the only alternative was to jump into the river below or get smashed. It was a very long bridge. Even if you heard or felt the trains coming, there wasn't time to get off the bridge before its arrival. As teens, we used to think it was daring and adventurous. Today, we realized it was dangerous and ridiculous. Yeah, and that one time you almost got hit by the train when you were searching for the dead body was really scary. Good thing your one buddy had a gun and a leech on his dick. I think they're talking about that Stephen King movie. 16-year-old boy just got hit and killed by a train for doing this 2 weeks ago nearby, and a 19-year-old boy had the same thing happen on the same tracks 4 months before. I don't understand why they do this. I never had the feeling of invulnerability that my fellow teenagers had, and I envied it. Yeah, neither did I. I never had the invulnerability thing either, but I never envied those who did. I would tell people off. I must have been a drag to be around. Destroy things for the sake of destroying things. It's fun sometimes, though. Ah, but as an adult, the joy of destroying things that actually needs destroying is amazing. Seriously, go find a tree that needs cutting down, or a house that you could go the safe way and slowly deconstruct, but instead just burnt that fucker down. I remember I used to play with Legos all the time, and I would spend hours just building these intricate robots to fight each other, just so I could just destroy them in like 5 minutes. So much fun. Drank 10 beers last night, mate. Wasn't even tipsy like. Growing up in the UK, drinking loads and not getting drunk was spouted like it was a great achievement. The whole concept is fucking mind-blowing now. Yeah, because it's stupid. Velcro wallet. I had one of those when I was little. Sitting at my computer for hours trying to get 99 woodcutting. What is that? RuneScape? Fucking teenagers. But yo, them logs helped make me bank. Or at least they used to. Chop ivy, XP wasting scrub. Wasted thousands of hours on that fucking game. You didn't waste it, you had fun. So please, cherish some memories, because you won't find time to do like that. You won't find time to do things like that when you have a college/a job. Obviously, any time having fun isn't wasted time, but I think it's in the sense talking about is he could have been doing social things and making connections/memories with people instead of by himself with people he will never meet. Well, that doesn't make social things with people. It doesn't make this first part any better than the other part, just as long as you're enjoying yourself. Different strokes for different folks. I enjoy both. Whew, but I know some people like to be alone more than they like to be with other people, and vice versa. Fucking teenagers. I remember when I was 13 and was really getting a sex drive, I kept searching for naked pictures of girls my own age. I think I might want an essay list for the rest of my life. Yep, did the same thing, hopefully not on a list. I hope if someone went through the search history, they could assume you're harmless because of your other searches. The Giver, Spark Notes, Linkin Park in the End, Naked Teenage Girls, E-Bum's World. Who gave your 13-year-old me internet history? Oh, Linkin Park's In the End, it doesn't even matter. I tried so hard and fell so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Yeah, there was some other guy I'm subscribed to. I forget his name though. He does a whole bunch of readings too, not just Askreddit stuff like I do, but he reads like fanfics and stuff. And one of the things someone asked him to read was to do a dramatic reading of Linkin Park's In the End, and it is hilarious. Because he has like a really good voice, like a movie announcer voice, but not the movie announcer voice. He has a really nice, deep voice, and it just sounded great. Oh, I can't remember his name though. Just look up Sonichu, someone reading it or something, and you'll probably find him. Or just, yeah, search a dramatic reading of Linkin Park's In the End. You might find him there too. Yeah, I know a dude who got caught doing that and was almost labeled a sex offender. He just got probation for 18 months because he was only 15. That was back in the LimeWire days, though. The world where a 15-year-old guy is almost labeled a sex offender because he is into 15-year-old girls is fucking ridiculous. This is literally how Massachusetts wrote its statutory rape laws. For you to be convicted of statutory rape and made to register as a level 2 sex offender, for the rest of life, all you need to is be a teenage boy of any age, including being under 16 yourself, who has sex with any girl under 16. Oh, I don't want to read about this. Getting blackout drunk, or getting almost blackout drunk. Passing out sucked even back then. Staying up late and sleeping all day. I really like getting to bed at a reasonable hour, getting a good night's sleep, and then having a full day to get things done. See, I like this. I used to stay up really late and wake up really late. Now I like to go to bed at a reasonable time, that way I can wake up somewhat in the morning, around 10, so I can go running and then do stuff for the rest of the day. 23-year-old me still loves staying up all night gaming. It's the only time where I know I can marathon games uninterrupted. 45-year-old me still loves staying up all night gaming. I still think getting up before the crack of noon is evil. Oh, I feel all guilty if I wake up after noon. It's like, oh, I wasted a few hours I could have spent doing grunt work. Staying up as late as possible. I often bragged about being up till 3 a.m., then going to school at 7. Now I'm in bed at 9:30 and it's glorious. Middle age is when you're faced with two temptations, and you choose the one that will get you home by 9 o'clock. Ronald Reagan. TIL, I'm middle-aged. And I'm not even 21 yet. As a teenager, I'm watching this thread closely to avoid making the same mistakes that others have made in the past. Thanks for all the responses. To paraphrase Jeff Goldblum, no, you'll make whole new ones. Being the jaded, cynical, but enlightened one of my friends who always had to know better and dump on everyone else's decisions, opinions, etc. I see now that the group of friends I had at the time must have been wonderfully patient, kind group of people, because my overall attitudes from them seem so off-putting and negative. Over the years, I've grown to be a lot more accepting and even optimistic and hopeful in some situations, and it's working much better for me. Oh, I think I might have been like that if I hadn't met a whole bunch of people, unlike some of the advanced classes I took, who are just way smarter than I could ever be. But I did read into a whole bunch of stuff that teenagers do that turn them into cynical, jaded, and enlightened types who try to talk down to everyone else. I didn't, though. Thankfully. Otherwise, I was very close to being that kind of person, though. But I knew actual smart people, and I knew that wasn't me. I was just average intelligence, and everyone else is just stupid. That's probably like the better way to describe it. This is me. My best friend knows me since we were 7. We're both 25 now. Sometimes I remember my old self, and I think, how are we still friends? How did she tolerate all my crap? I have one of those friends too. Teen angst and know-it-allness aside, I think we do tend to be harder on ourselves than the people who love us are. Your friend is very caring and loyal, but it's likely you also have always had some really good qualities that she appreciates in you as well. It's really special to have a lifelong friend. Ditching class. I'd never ditch class. Trying to stand out. I wanted everyone to see me and to be the life of the party when I was a teenager. Now, I'd rather blend in at work and spend my free time with people I care about instead of peacocking for everyone. I tried so hard to blend in, not necessarily fit in, but not stand out so much that people would approach me. Unfortunately, some people try to be nice to a loner girl and talk to me. Then when I tried to be more social, everyone ignored me. Looks like someone is socially inept. Drinking the most amount of alcohol. As a young teenager, I used to say I drink more than I actually have. Now that I'm an adult, I tell people I have drank less than I actually have. Joke's on you, OP. I still think Dragon Ball Z is the hypest shit ever. Oh my god. I remember my Dragon Ball Z phase. I don't know why I focused on Dragon Ball Z for some reason. Funny, I used to think it was stupid, but since it's being aired on Toonami, I love it. I need to go watch the Dragon Ball Z Abridged. It's a fan dub, and it's hilarious. Oh yeah, it is. I have like 50 episodes out right now. I love it more than a real one. I actually wish that was canon. Yeah, it's so good. I love Dragon Ball Z Abridged. SpongeBob. Now I realize he is the worst neighbor you can get. So much this. I'm watching SpongeBob the movie with my kids for the second time, and it isn't even 10 a.m. yet. I still think SpongeBob is funny, and I like it when he's on, but yeah, I feel so bad for Squidward. He is like so many people. That's why my favorite episode is Band Geeks. Seeing Squidward at the end of that episode all happy and fulfilled is so satisfying. And the song. Aw, yes. I wonder if people put the song in lyrics. The winter takes all. It's the thrill of one more kill. The last one to fall will never sacrifice their will. Do. Don't ever look back on the world closing in. Yeah, I knew this would be here. Reddit's too predictable. You either die as SpongeBob or live long enough to be a Squidward. Or become a Patrick in a horrific accident. An onion on my belt. It was a style at the time. What kind of style is that? Making sure everyone knew I'm an atheist and find their religion laughable. If someone happens to say, God bless you, to a sneeze, fuck you. That's a super stupid superstition and there is no God. Someone survives something bad happening and people offer prayers of thank God. Fuck you. God had nothing to do with it and I need you to make sure you're aware of it. Jesus, looking back, that's such an obnoxious behavior. Yeah, it is. I remember when I was in high school, we had a very Mormon, a majority Mormon population. They're some of the nicest people you'd ever meet. Like, some of my best friends were Mormon. What's that other one called? One of my friends was an atheist. He was like the only outspoken one. Some were Christians, a lot were Mormon, and even one of them was Muslim. That's it. Hisam. He was a cool guy. I should get into contact with him again. Being an adult. Actually, I'll disagree on this one. Being an adult is far more awesome than being a teenager. Nowadays, I have disposable income to spend on my hobbies, can go out drink with my buddies, and stay up as late as I want. For those of you who keep posting, you must not be married with kids yet. No, I don't, and I certainly don't plan to do either unless I'm with someone I never want to passively aggressive complain about on the internet for how my life turned out. See, this guy gets it. You don't just get married to have kids because it's expected of you. I happen to love being an adult with no obligations. I think that should be the thing. It's fun to be an adult with no obligations and spare income. Like, the year after high school was probably the best year of my life because I had so much free time to do whatever I wanted. Plus, I had a part-time job, and my bills were cheap. So, I didn't have a lot of money, but I had enough to do cheap hobbies. And I got really into playing World of Warcraft. It was so much fun. That's probably the most social I've ever been, too. Considering I was part of 2 raids, and I led one of them. And I even led raided battlegrounds and stuff. That was a lot of work. Never again, but it was fun at the time. The only good thing about being a teenager was how easy friends were due to school. Being an adult is so great from any kind of other standpoint, especially if there's a job you can stand. Yeah, it is a lot easier to make friends as a teenager. To make friends, you really have to be in a situation where you are pretty much forced to be in the same room together every day. That's a good way to make friends. If you have to plan, like, play dates, it just doesn't work out as well, but it can. On a similar note, I've always found it stupid how my dad would buy excessive tools when I was young to fix things that a garage can do. Now I'm 21 with the motorbike I paid for myself. Buying a large socket set and torque wrench to go and fix things myself or tinker is the best thing. Maybe not quite a teenager thing, but I'm just waiting to see what happens in 40 years to everyone with those enormous gauges in their ears. Some of them are getting plastic surgery to repair them. Ooh, my little brother has little gauges in his ears, I think. Actually, I don't really remember. I always thought they were stupid, but when he decided to get them, I was like, well, I kind of wish I did more stupid stuff when I was little. That way I could look back on it and laugh. I'm always very supportive if he decides to do something stereotypically teenager-ish. Because that's the time when you can do stupid shit, is when you're a teenager. Very loud car subwoofers. So stupid. Yes, I agree. Dressing goth and acting super angsty. Oh god, the eyeliner, black hair dye, and fishnet shirts. No wonder my parents didn't like to go out in public with me. Bondage straps and chains all over my clothes, dyes from shame. Teasing / picking on your friends. In my school, I was part of a nerdy clique that congregated in our own little circle because we were all the rejects of the more popular crowds. We were all awkward dorks, but to be honest, none of us had a lot in common. I was a movie nerd, there was a guy who played The Sims for hours on end, we also had the bookworm who had no free time outside of studying, He went on to be our class valedictorian and is currently getting his PhD in computer science. The baseball card collector, the guy who was always angry and threw food at the walls, and the welder guy who wasn't even that smart but just hung out with us because he didn't say much. And then there was one kid who we called by his last name. We'll call him Gilmore. Gilmore was a hardcore, Bible-thumping conservative who disagreed with all the rest of us liberals. He was tall, lanky, never cut his fingernails, and was up the ass of every teacher. While he was annoying, we would constantly lambast him on a daily basis to the point of unrelenting and undeserving. We would call him queer because to a bunch of immature 15-year-old outcasts in an overwhelming redneck school, being gay was a terrible insult. We made fun of him for his hygiene, even though ours wasn't much better. We'd joke about him having a gay love affair with a 7-year-old chemistry teacher. Essentially, we were being about as child as you can be to him, and mentally. I could tell it really hurt him a lot. He had plans to go to school for aerial engineering, but that never happened. Instead, he currently spends most of his time playing MMOs in his dad's basement. Aw, poor guy. I still feel terrible about all the bullying we put him through. We were all just trying to find an outlet for our bullying the rest of us got from the outside of our circle, and that outlet was poor Gilmore, because he was the most unlike the rest of us. He was at the bottom of our total poll, the peasants. That's worse, I think. I cracked more jokes than I should have because I knew I was second from the bottom. On social situations where Gilmore wasn't around, my little circle of teenage jerks would then gang up on me. So when he was around, I made sure to keep my place above him. It was pathetic. It was childish, and I regret it to this day. Picking on your friends mildly can be all in good fun if everyone's in on it, but Gilmore was not. There's a line when it crosses into malevolence, and we shamefully crossed that line. I had since apologized to Gilmore for all the stupid jokes we made. He may have been kind of a tool himself back then, but he did not deserve the ridicule we put him through. No one does. It can fuck you up. Teenagers who may be reading this, just know that you are currently part of a group of pariahs. I mentioned pariahs, right? Just know that it gets better outside of high school. Don't make the same mistakes I did. If you find a group of friends, be friendly. Teasing and stuff is usually something only guys do. I didn't really figure that out until like after high school, when I made a whole bunch of lady friends. That stuff just doesn't happen with girls. They always pretend to be fake nice to each other, while guys pretend to be fake mean to each other. Although sometimes it can get a little overboard, like this guy mentioned. I remember when I was in football, this obviously happened all the time too. But like when we were in class, I'd always actually like pay attention so I can get all my work done. That way I wouldn't have to do homework and I could play WoW at night instead of having to do homework at night. So I paid attention in class and did all my work. And I had two other football players in one of my classes, my like math class, and they would always like yell out and talk to each other across the room, and they would yell insults at me too, and I would just sit there and just like smile. I was like, okay, whatever. And I remember someone asked me, like, why are those guys always so mean to you? And I was like, oh, I guess they are. It's because I don't say anything back because we're in class. There's no way I would. I guess to these people it does seem like they're mean to me, but I deal out the same shit to them during football. It's just, I'm too busy, like actually working while they're playing around. I was like, oh, well, you see, in football, I'm a lot better than they are. So I don't really care what they say. I think I said something really douchey like that. It's like, oh, I'm just a lot better than them or something. I was way better than both of them at football. And I'd always make fun of them for that, which was kind of mean too, but, guys just, they play fake mean to each other. I just never played back during class because I was actually doing stuff. Let's see. Okay, let's just end it there. This is like half an hour long. That's long.